February 2015, the final round of Thought for Food Challenge. This was the moment we were announced the winners. We had the wind knocked right out of us, and these hilarious expressions happened. I still remember sitting right behind the judges and looking intently at this other team who we thought would definitely win, so much so that we almost missed when our team's name was announced as the winner. From that moment onwards, our lives changed for the better without us realizing it. It felt too good to be true. Before this, we were just a bunch of starry-eyed students striving for the world to hear us out. But after this, we are now known as budding entrepreneurs. Now, people come up to us to hear about our venture, and suddenly we have a voice. We got covered in almost all the national dailies, got interviewed on TV shows, and we were even featured on International Women's Day. All this exposure has given us the opportunity to inspire the millions of young minds back in our country and address this food security issue that we were so used to seeing around us. So with wind beneath our wings and hopes of actually implementing this project, we were thrilled and excited at the prospect of going back to our country and bringing some real change into this world. But before we get into that very interesting story, first a little bit about myself. I am Shafinaz Hossein, one of the 4 co-founders of Food Fresh, and I'm also working as a Next Generation Council member for Thought for Food. I come from a country called Bangladesh. Yes, that's the one right beside India. A very small country with a lot of people. 163 million to be exact. So it was no surprise when I grew up watching small slum kids scavenging for food from the same dumpsters where the vendors would throw away their fruits and vegetables because they were unable to store them. So now you may ask, what did we do about it? Well, initially, nothing. This was a common scenario. No one bothered to do anything about it, so why should we be the ones to fix the world? But fortunately, we got wiser as we got older, and we also ended up as being business students, and even waste started to look like an opportunity to us. We were taught that the risk of doing nothing is the biggest risk that you can take, and that too will yield to, well, nothing. So, 5 semesters, 25 courses, and millions of cups of coffee later, we find ourselves with a proposal for a business plan just for our coursework, which we call Food Fresh. Just an ordinary idea to tackle food loss in the supply chain using the sun, the wind, and water. Ours was a very rudimentary technology with a novel approach. An affordable solar-powered storage alternative which works on natural cooling system. Food Fresh is designed to reduce post-harvest loss and prolong shelf life for up to 7 to 10 days longer. Thus, this simple solution allows and empowers small-scale farmers and vendors for a better bargaining power, and consumers get access to healthy and nutritious food. So we make each unit, sell them at a profit, and everyone lives happily ever after. Sounds simple, right? Well, not exactly. What are the telltale signs of inexperienced entrepreneurs? I would say too much enthusiasm, too little groundwork. Initially, we started off great, but we did not do much with it. It was only when we came across communities like Thought for Food and UTech Summit by Bayer, we realized that we simply cannot give up. Which is why I always believed that just being around like-minded people can get you half the way. Last year, I attended the UTech Summit in Brussels, Belgium, and we were tasked to pledge 3 little things that we would take back to our country and fulfill them. And I remember one of mine was to inspire the millions of Bangladeshi youth to start thinking about feeding our planet. And it's amazing how this small promise has got me involved with another business, which is called Super Shroom, and it specializes in mushroom production, and I've been working with this group of university students for the past 4 months. So it is from events like this that I realized that there's a whole different world out there which would support your visions and your ideas, no matter how unique they are. I learned that full focused mentoring, recognition, and thorough support from a community of like-minded people like this has the incredible power of bringing ideas to life just out of nothing. I mean, looking at Food Fresh's growth curve, one can easily say how what a few students cooked up in their heads hypothetically has transformed into a real-life social enterprise that affects not only Bangladesh, but millions around the world. Finally, the message I would like to leave everyone with is this: empathize and take charge. I cannot stress enough how important this is. As I mentioned earlier, my friends and I did nothing to help the poor children who were eating out of the dustbins. And for a long time, we failed to empathize and take charge. But the world's problem is our problem. It is your problem. And the solution is out there. We just need to get out of our comfort zone and look beyond what directly affects us and start thinking about those unfortunate children and the 10 billion people in 2050 who might just go hungry because of our negligence. That'll be all from me. Thank you so much for listening.